What's up, everybody? We're back again with another segment on the Electric Coaches channel, and we're still talking about Invisibases. And what you see here is our two Invisibases, one on a Raven figure and the other on a Steeler figure. Raven figure is on the right. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the Raven figure is a bit taller than the Steeler figure on the left. And the reason why is because I stretched the blades on the Raven figure and not on this Steeler figure, which, by the way, is on a new Invisibase. And in this video, I'm going to show you another technique I used to stretch the blades on this Invisibase. Also, I have my traditional electric football board here by Tudor. This board, the vibration is in a smaller area, so the players are going to move a lot faster. And just to give you a demonstration, I'm going to go back and get the Denver Bronco figure that you have seen in the previous Pro Line tweak video. Watch how he goes. It's a lot of speed there, although he didn't go the distance. Let's see if we can get him to go. He's gone. Okay, let's run our Raven figure. And let's see what kind of improvements we've gotten so far. Moves a little bit quicker. He loops a little bit. Let's see if we can run him again. Get a better run out of him. Wow. Okay. I'm going to get into why the base fell. I'm going to talk about that. Let's try to run him again. I want you to see how well this base has come along since it came out the pack. It's in the end zone right now. Okay. Run him back. The downside to stretching the blade on this Invisibase is that it could potentially cause the figure to topple over when it runs. Because now this blade, this front blade, when the board vibrates, that blade oscillates. It flexes as the board sends vibration from the bottom of the blade up to the top. So at the initial turn of the switch, that figure is unstable in some ways. And that same phenomenon occurs when you stop the board also. So when that figure is moving, like this Haiti Repro figure, it's leaning forward, you stop that board, it's like jamming on your front brake on your bicycle after traveling at a high velocity. The figure is going to raise up like that and fall over. So when you stretch your blades, you want to be careful how much stretch you put into the blade. Of course, you don't want to rip the blade. You don't want to tear it. You also don't want, if you stretch it too far, you'll make it so thin that the blade won't be able to support the weight of the figure. Before I do the resistance test between the Raven figure and the Steeler figure, I want you to see how a new Invisibase runs on this traditional board. You see how the figure bounces? It kind of, the movement of the player is kind of jagged. You know, that's not good at all. That's the reason why I chose to stretch the blades on this base. Now we're going to do a resistance test real quick. Let me get my magnetic strips here. We're going to make ourselves a little pit for these two guys to duke it out. Okay. See what happens. It's a good workout. Basically what you saw was the Steeler figure on the new Invisibase won the pushing battle. And the reason why is because if you remember at the beginning of the video, or if you look closely here, you'll see that the Raven figure is taller than the Steeler figure, right? And he's taller because I stretched the prongs. I gave him a little bit more height. So now, because of that, because I stretched the prongs, it has now made this Invisibase vulnerable to being attacked under, like this. An opponent can get under your taller Invisibase, causing it to lose push at the line of scrimmage. So if you look closely here, the blade is not touching the board anymore. This front blade is not touching the board anymore. The back blade is. Remember the ITZ power base that we tested against this Invisibase in the previous video? Well, we're going to test it again here on this traditional board, which, by the way, is an aluminum board. This is metal right here, so bases tend to perform differently on different surfaces. Let's see what happens. Wow. Wow. Okay. On this board, this ITZ power base dominates. On vinyl, this ITZ base is not so dominant against this Invisibase on vinyl. We're now done with our traditional board, and we're going to lift this out and we're going to get back to the custom table. Yes, my custom table is big enough. It can accommodate a traditional electric football board. So I'm going to put this traditional board away, and we'll be back momentarily. That run by that you have seen on the traditional electric football board was done by my Bronco figure, my Seahawk figure, my 49er figure, just to give you an idea how fast those guys are. So we're going to move on to talk about how I stretch the blade on my Raven figure. Let's do one more run test. Okay, not bad. On this custom board, the vibration is moderate, so the players aren't as explosive. Let's do a resistance test real quick. We're going to go and get our ITZ power base again. Remember, we matched these two guys up on the traditional board. Let's see what happens. Okay, still lost the battle. No problem. So now, let's get into it. Now, in the first Invisibase video, I showed you this set of pliers. And I had these pliers on a candle warmer. Here's my candle warmer right here. Okay? Had the pliers sitting on this. Initially, I took the pliers, like so, and I smashed the blade. And as I was smashing the blade, I was pulling on the blade a little bit, okay? I was grabbing the blade and pulling. Okay? I did both blades like that. Then after that, I went to another set of pliers. You've seen these pliers before. It's these ones. These are the pliers with the very fine jaws. And I grabbed the blade this way with the pliers. See if we can get a better lighting here. See if we can get a better look. Alright, so I grabbed the blade like so. Okay? And I pressed. And that caused the blade to stretch further out. Now, when doing this with these pliers, you have to understand that, let me grab my pointer, that inside here, inside the jaws in this area, the pressure is more firm in this part. And as you go further out toward the tip, the pressure is less. So when you put the blade in, here, see, the part of the blade that's closest to the inside of the jaws of the pliers, that part of the blade is going to spread out. It's going to stick out as you press down. Okay? The other part of the blade that's further up here, it's not going to stretch out as far because the pressure is reduced here. Okay? So that means that when I do one side of the figure like this, I now got to flip the figure over and do it again. So the other side of the blade will squeeze out, if you will, thereby giving it that lengthened appearance. You see? So I did both blades, front and back, like that. And as a result, I was able to get more speed out of that base and possibly more resistance. So we went from this to this. You can see the difference in length. Let me grab my caliper. I'm going to measure the thickness of those blades now. Okay. Let's get situated. Going to measure our blade. Going to put it on millimeters. I'm going to zero it out. At the very tip, I have 0.30 millimeters. Okay? That's a huge reduction. A huge reduction. And in the rear, same thing. 0.30 millimeters, 31 millimeters. That's after using these fine jaw pliers. I was able to get the blade thinner. Now we're going to go back to a new Invisibase, and we're going to look at the thickness of the blades when the base is new. That's 47.47 millimeters in thickness. That's before, that's a brand new Invisibase before it's tweaked. We got, let me get it. It keeps bouncing between 51, 52. Got to zero it out. About 40. That's furthest at the top of the blade. Let me get right here on the tip. That's about 49.49 millimeters. Brand new Invisibase. So we went from 0.49 millimeters all the way down to 0.30 in reduction. which is why this bass on the Raven figure moves a lot better than the Steeler figure. In regards to resistance, now on vinyl, the Raven figure wins. Now you remember earlier on the aluminum board, the traditional board, the Steeler figure won. Wow. So there's still more work to do, still more things that we can learn about this Invisibase. And I'm going to continue to run tests to find out all that I can about this bass to bring out the most in it. And I hope you do the same if you have any Invisibases. Take your time, take one bass out, get a set of pliers like these. I only paid $5 for these. I lucked up and I found them on eBay. I typed in jeweler's pliers, flat pliers, flat duckbill pliers, and I searched and I found these for about $5. I'm Mo. Thanks for watching.